Hey guys, welcome back to another Tuesday, and I hope your Tuesday is off to a fantastic start. But here's what we're going to talk about today. Here are the headlines. Omega block returns this week. Hot for a lot of people, cooler for some people, and there are storm chances in that too, and we'll get into those details here in just a minute. And most of those storms are going to be convective storms on both sides of the coast, on the East Coast and the West Coast, and we'll get more into the locations and more of those specifics here in the show. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that tropical disturbance out in the Atlantic, what it's going to do tomorrow for your Wednesday, and what it's expected to do for the rest of the week. We'll get into all those details. But first, we are going on tour at the Atlas All-Star Stadium Tour. Derek will be speaking at the Raymond James Stadium. This will be June 7th. So just a couple days, I think that's tomorrow. So come out and see us if you're around that area. And there's a new one too on June 15th, and it is the NTRCA Not So Many Trade Show. Come out and see Brandon. We're going to have a booth out there, so come out and talk to us. So now let's get into the forecast for today and the next couple of days. Right now, not a lot is going on. There is a low pressure system off to the west in California and Nevada, and that will be what gives us those storm chances today and tomorrow. There's also another one off to the northeast, bringing in some moisture and some showers from the north and some disturbances in the Gulf of Mexico. And we also have temperatures are pretty warm here in this area in the middle part of the United States. 83 degrees, 87 degrees in Dallas, 83 in Kansas City. So 80s, and you can see this orange. It's pretty warm here in between these two lows, and that's that ridge. And this is what I mean by that omega block, is that we have a low pressure system over there, cooler temperatures, and another one over here, and it's just trapping in that heat here in the middle, and that will kind of be the main story for the southern plains and northern plains this week, especially for today. And here's what it looks like on your water vapor imagery. This is our view from space. You can really see the circulation of this low pressure system moving off into the north and into the east, going towards New Mexico and parts of Texas. That will bring in the moisture, bring in those dew points from the Pacific. And yeah, so we can also, you see that there's moisture up here moving off to the east. And that jet stream here, the main jet stream, the polar jet, is way up north. So we're not getting those big robust storms that we have been getting in the couple months prior. We are starting to get into that summer pattern. This is starting to move off to the east, and we have this low pressure system that's going to give us those storm chances again today and tomorrow. So we'll have 2 days of storm chances with these systems. And then this is just kind of the pattern for the rest of the week. We're going to keep this ridge over the central and southern plains and northern plains going off into the next several days and into this week. And for the dew points today, we're going to see lots of moisture for the south and the southeast, and this will play a role in our chances for storms in Charleston and Columbia, South Carolina today, and of course down in Florida today as well for the East Coast today. Now getting into our hail chances for today, we're going to start by talking about the West Coast. In Salt Lake City does have a slight chance to an inch and a quarter of hail today. It's a low chance. There's going to be some isolated scattered showers today. It's not going to be very organized. It's going to be mainly convective. So peak heating time of the day between 3 and 4 o'clock is when you're going to see these storms kind of start to go up around, I believe this is Highway 80, and it will go up north for that and move into Idaho and into parts of Washington and even parts of northeastern California. So from that low, we're also going to get an outflow boundary of storms moving along Albuquerque, moving through Albuquerque and El Paso this afternoon into this afternoon and late evening. As it moves off to the east, those storms will start to kind of die off because it'll get cooler, and yeah, there won't be as much fuel for that once the temperatures cool off into the evening and overnight hours. Now, our other system will give us more chances for storms in Columbia and Charleston, as also the dew points are pretty high in that area. So as soon as those storms start to reach the hottest and moistest parts of the south of this region, storms will start to have more of a potential to give you guys an inch to an inch and a quarter of hail in that area. The chances are low. Still, same story, convective storms, not very organized. That's going to be the story for the next couple of days and for all locations, especially here in Florida. You've got the sea breeze, and you've got an outflow boundary from another low pressure system in the Gulf of Mexico, giving you guys a slight chance for an inch to an inch and a quarter of hail in Miami and Fort Myers, possibly even north of that, especially for tomorrow for your Wednesday, for day 2. So going on into the winds for today, basically those same areas. If any storms fire up in this region, in this area, you could have wind speeds up to 58 to 73 miles per hour in that area. Same story for New Mexico, Albuquerque, and El Paso, even south of El Paso along this highway here, and a little further east of that, 58 to 73 miles per hour if storms go up and can get that strong and can really get the fuel to get going. Charleston and Charlotte, South Carolina has that, as well as Florida here in Miami and parts of Fort Myers this evening and this afternoon. So it's also very unstable. We have high moisture in the east and in the southeast, and Cape is really, really high. We have instability all across these areas, up here in Salt Lake City and down here in Florida, where we have that chance for those storms, and especially here in South Carolina. You can see that this is part of why we have those storm chances here in these locations today and for tomorrow as well. And so for future radar for today, this afternoon, and this evening, this is what it looks like. Those storms will trek up past Highway 80, go into Idaho and parts of Washington, and they'll be out, and yeah, they could be strong to possibly just borderline severe up there in that area. That's possible. Now here in Albuquerque and El Paso, those storms are going to start to move past Highway 25, and yeah, you saw that it'll start to fall apart as it moves east, and because it'll get cooler, temperatures will drop, and so will storm chances. Now this is what it looks like for Charleston and parts of South Carolina today. Those storms move past, start to strengthen as it gets into that area of high dew points and high temperatures. Warmer temperatures and stronger dew points definitely are going to be the fuel for that. And wind shear is lacking in some of these places, so you won't really see, that won't be part of why the storms are going to be possibly strong. And this is in Miami today into tomorrow. This is a sneak peek into tomorrow. Storm chances are possible for tomorrow, but today, sea breezes and that outflow boundary from the low pressure system going to give you a chance for hail and some strong winds in those areas. So we're going to explain mountain hail, and I know we do have hail chances up in the mountains in the west coast. Basically what happens is this warm, moist air rides up the mountains, and this is where you get the condensation and precipitation, and the hail forms, and it drops over the mountains, and it doesn't have as much area to fall as it does in the plains. So if you're up higher, you don't need as high of dew points. You don't need a lot of the ingredients that you need in the plains. So it does make it easier for that hail to fall and to form. But then once it goes over the mountain, the air is cooler, it sinks, and it gets dry and warm as it moves down the mountain. So that's one reason why we have hail chances for the next couple of days in the west, where and also in New Mexico, where there's mountains and all that. The orography definitely plays a significant role in these storms and in these chances. So this is for your Wednesday. For tomorrow, still a slight low chance, 1 inch to 1 inch and a quarter of an inch of hail possible tomorrow. And same story, very isolated and not very organized convection. And they will be convective storms in Boise and parts of Idaho. And Las Vegas, New Mexico, and Midland, Texas also has a chance for hail tomorrow. Slight chance, Columbia and Charleston again tomorrow, and Orlando and Miami for Florida for tomorrow. So moving on into the hail DFW 5cast for parts of DFW, Texas. So we're going to be in the 90s. That is where that ridge is. It's going to be hot in Texas, 90s, 95 degrees by Friday, 93 by Saturday. And there will be some slight rain chances in that area as well. And in Denver, much cooler, in the 70s going into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, upper 70s, with those storm chances also included, because we do have chances going into tomorrow for your Wednesday and slightly going into the weekend. But I did say we did have a tropical disturbance out in the Atlantic. It has a 10% chance of forming into a storm or a tropical storm in the next 48 hours. We really don't think anything is going to come of it, or it's going to form into anything, because it is moving into colder waters. So the expectation is that it's not going to form into anything in the next 24 to 48 hours, because it is moving into colder areas, colder water, and that's not, we want warm water for tropical disturbances and tropical depressions and storms. So yeah, it's not really going to do much in the next 24 to 48 hours. It's also only a 10% chance. So follow us on our social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, and contact us. You can contact us 3 different ways. Phone number is 855-334-4245. I believe that was 856. But info, you can also email us at info@hailtrace.com, or you can check out our website, check out our maps if you want to purchase any of our maps from the last couple of weeks at hailtrace.com.